Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Budget Finance Economic Development Committee. Today is February 10th. It is now 9:07 a.m. My name is Yukilei Sugimura. I'm the chair of this committee, and I'd like to welcome everyone. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Sunshine Law, and as a reminder, when your name is called, if you are not in the council chamber, please identify by name who, if anyone, is in the room, vehicle, or workspace with you today. Minors do not need to be identified. Member Batangan is excused today. Good morning, Member Cook.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning. Good morning, Member Johnson. I see you're in Lanai.
Good morning, Chair, council members, committee members. There's no testifiers here at the Lanai District Office, and I'm alone on my side of the office. Here and ready to work. Thank you, Chair.
Is it raining?
Boy, has it ever been, but now today it hasn't. So,
Oh, okay, good. So
it's getting better.
You're safe. Very good. Chair Lee, good morning.
Good morning. We actually have sunshine this morning. It's still breezy, but much better than the last 2 days.
Yes.
I'm here alone in my workspace and ready to go. Thank you.
Great. Member Paulton's going to be late, but she will be joining us. Member Rollins Fernandez, good morning.
Aloha kakahia kakako, my Molokai nui ahina. I'm at my private residence, alone here, and there are currently no testifiers at the Molokai District Office. It's nice and sunny here in Kaunakakai.
Very good. Member Senensi, good morning.
Aloha, Chair, and good morning.
Good morning. Member Hodgins, good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. So assisting with this meeting today is, I'm going to introduce our resources from the administration. From the administration, we have Budget Director, Chief of Staff, we had asked for, not confirmed. I will skip over Economic Development, not confirmed. Department of Agriculture, not confirmed. Director of Environmental Management, we will have as a resource. Director of Finance, Deputy Director of Finance, Land Acquisition Officer Hironaka. Director of Housing is not confirmed. Housing CDBG Manager, Deputy Chief of Police, Director of Personnel Services, and Deputy Corp Counsel Wigglesworth. To assist us today, I've also invited Jake Carton, Maui Indivisible, and members, if there are no objections, I'd like to designate Mr. Carton of Maui Indivisible as a resource person under Rule 18A of the Rules of the Council based upon their role and experience.
No objections, Chair.
Thank you. Please see the last page of the agenda for information on meeting connectivity, members, and I would also like to welcome our staff who's helping us today, which is Pauline Martin, Secretary, Kirsten Zabel, OCS Council staff, as well as Senior Executive Researcher, which is James Kruger. All right, so please see the last page of the agenda for information on meeting connectivity. Thank you, members, for attending today's BFED committee. We have 3 items on the agenda. I'm going to read it now and not read it when we go into each item. So BFED 4, Bill 92, CD1, 2025, authorizing the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Federal Bureau of Investigation for a joint terrorism task force. Bill 17, BFED 17, Bill 116, 2024, amending Chapter 3.36 Maui County Code relating to the Maui County Grants Program and Chapter 3.40 Maui County Code relating to concessions, awards, and rental or lease of county property. BFED 20, Paren 12, Administration and Management of Grants. So at this time, do we have any testifiers? We will. So before we go into testimony, I want to hear basically from our resources. So at this time, I'd like to ask, okay. So the opening comments, let me just go through all of this first. If anybody's wishing to testify at this time, I'm going to do resources first. Members, on the first item on today's agenda, Bill 92, CD1, 2025. Bill 92 would authorize the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Federal Bureau of Investigation for participation in Honolulu Division Joint Terrorism Task Force. This committee last discussed this bill on September 5th, 2025. By a 7-1 vote, the committee recommended passage on first reading. The council adopted that recommendation at the September 25th, 25 council meeting. Prior to second reading on the bill, Chair Lee canceled the item from October 10, 2025 council agenda and referred Bill 92 back to this committee. The Disaster Recovery Informational Affairs and Planning Committee, chaired by Member Paulton, held a discussion on this topic at the meeting on January 28, 2026. At the DRIP committee meeting, members received.
That's international affairs, not informational affairs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
International.
Okay, fine. Let's
Member
see.
Paulton's here.
As a DRIP meeting, members received comments from the police department and a presentation from Maui Indivisible prior to the discussion. Thank you, Member Paulton, for hearing this discussion in your committee, and I heard your voice, and let's welcome you to the meeting. Good morning, Member Paulton.
Hello, Kaya Kakako, streaming live and direct from Honolulu Airport. I have a bunch of travelers around me, and I'll be getting on a plane at lunch break to join you guys in the afternoon.
Okay, nice to see you. Let me continue. Materials presented and discussed at the January 28th DRIP meeting have been transmitted to BFED and are available to members and the public under the BFED committee item as well. Today we'll have the opportunity to continue discussion. Afterwards, I am inclined to recommend filing the bill as I shared during the DRIP committee. Joining us today to assist with our discussions are Deputy Chief of Police Maeda and Jake Carton from Maui Indivisible. And I have asked to have the resources give an opening comment, 5 minutes each, 5 minutes each. We have structured the meeting to allow time for opening comments, testimony, and members of the public, as well as deliberations and questions from the members. We do have this item as well as a time-sensitive housing item next. So we will be keeping to the agenda and hoping to go through our agenda. I am reminded from the next committee meeting, which is the Government Relations Great Committee, that we have a long agenda, so we need to complete our meeting, this meeting on a timely basis. I'm asking for opening comments from the Maui Indivisible, and then from Deputy Chief of Police Maeda. I ask that our resources focus their comments in any new information that needs to be shared and to address any issues that were not dealt with at the DRIP committee, at the DRIP meeting. Maui Indivisible, do you have any opening comments? Nice to see you here. Mr. Carton, 5 minutes.
Aloha, and thank you, honorable council members, council staff, and participating Maui residents for this opportunity. My name is Jake Carton, Maui voting resident, speaking on behalf of Maui Indivisible. Marnie Masuda, lead organizer for Maui Indivisible, is teaching today. We are asking the Budget Committee today to recommend a resounding no vote as pledged by Council Chair Lee on the council record last week on Trump's FBI JTTF contract with the Maui police. Trump's FBI JTTF contract is abusing America, abusing our democracy, and this new contract abuses Maui. When the Minneapolis FBI JTTF team leader killed Renee Good, this mother and poet's last words were, "I'm not mad at you, dude." Yet, Trump instantly called her a domestic terrorist and called in the FBI JTTF to investigate her and her grieving family as domestic terrorists. If that's not abuse, I don't know what is. The budget chair sent out a notice for this hearing in this slide that avoids her public pledge last week. Missing in that notice is that option to vote no. Why is a no vote important? Trump and the MPD needs to get the message that the council opposes this contract. 3 weeks ago, the Corporation Council's position was the police chief could execute this JTTF contract on behalf of the whole county by passing a vote of the council. All the council had to do was file Bill 92 to give the power to an unelected police chief. That Corporation Council position, which has flip-flopped 3 times in the last 3 months, did not arise randomly. Next slide, please. This position was prompted by an October 14th memo from the budget chair after the full council retreated from approving the JTTF contract because it learned from hundreds of Maui Indivisible activists how vastly unpopular this JTTF contract is. In fact, this bypasses exactly what the council did a few months ago when it filed the contract that the police chief made with the National Guard on Maui. This contract helps Trump deploy the Guard to militarize places like LA, Minneapolis, Chicago. The MPD guards this Maui base from intruders as top priority over responding to Maui resident 911 calls. This will really impact us when the base is emptied on a Trump deployment. It is clear that if the council files Bill 92, it will leave the door open to an unelected police chief again bypassing around holding a council vote. Vote no today, vote no at the full council, and protect our democracy. We recognize that the budget chair has restricted our time to 5 minutes. In that short time, we will not be able to correct all the falsehoods that the budget chair spent hours collecting to support the council's original approval of the proposed JTTF contract, nor will we have time to run through all of the one-sided Trump dictates and Maui pays abusive master-servant aspects of this JTTF contract. Fortunately, the DRIP committee chair allowed us to put it on the council record last week, and now we are putting it in writing. Please ask me questions if you still are unsure the contract places no financial obligation on the county. Next slide, please. With our remaining time, we will focus on the one aspect of this proposed JTTF contract which is most abusive of all. That is the ability of the county to escape it. To get out, we have to get permission from the abuser. By the way, the MPD and FBI searched for their current JTTF contract and finally found a 19-year-old contract a few days ago. Let's compare. For context, under this current 19-year-old JTTF contract, the council could vote today to terminate it, and our county would be out from under it in 60 days. Next slide, please. To put this proposed JTTF termination clause in another context, the police's contract with Trump's Homeland Security, now embedded inside the Maui police station, has a good escape clause. Also, since the police chief executed this contract on behalf of the county without the vote of the council could just declare this contract void today. Another context is the reasonable time limit in the police chief's contract with the Trump's National Guard mentioned earlier. By the way, did the National Guard ever sign and date this contract? We better look into that. Better to withdraw from that contract before they date it and try to bind us for a whole nother year of Trumpian deployments. We would have more examples of termination clauses to share, but the MPD is obstructing our legal rights, leading to the State Office of Information Practices intervening many times while the MPD continues not to comply with our formal requests. It's safe to assume, though, that it's standard to put in a reasonable time limit or have an unconditional escape clause. Skip ahead 2 more slides. I think I'm running out of time. I'm just going to summarize, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. To summarize, the committee should vote to take a companion action with a vote no recommendation, and that is to write formally to the FBI JTTF to terminate the existing contract and start that process before we find ourselves in deep trouble when Trump expands immigration enforcement and militarization to Maui. The Budget Committee should also begin the process of ending collaboration with Trump's Homeland Security and National Guard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gallery, please. Thank you. We are going to be conducting this meeting and ask for you to participate in decorum of the council. Next, we'll have 5 minutes max from the police department. Deputy Director Mayera.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, council members. Good morning, community members.
I am Deputy Chief Wade Maeda, and I'm testifying on behalf of Chief John Pelletier. I apologize, he's not available to testify today. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony on the proposal authorizing the mayor to enter an intergovernmental agreement with the Federal Bureau of Investigation for participating in the Joint Terrorism Task Force. The safety and security of our community remains the highest priority for the Maui Police Department. In today's evolving threat environment, no single agency can effectively prevent or respond to acts of terrorism. The Joint Terrorism Task Force represents a proven model of collaboration that strengthens our collective ability to detect, prevent, and respond to threats before they impact our residents, visitors, and critical infrastructure. Participating in the task force enhances real-time intelligence sharing, expands investigative capabilities, and provides access to specialized federal resources, training, and technology. Just as importantly, it ensures that our department has a seat at the table when threat information is identified, allowing us to act quickly and decisively to protect our country. Early information is often the difference between prevention and response. The partnership is not about expanding local authority beyond its lawful scope. Rather, it's about ensuring that our officers are informed, prepared, and connected to the broader public safety network. Terrorism prevention relies heavily on coordinated communication, and formal participation strengthens our ability to safeguard the community through proactive policing strategies. The information presented here is consistent with guidance and best practices from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, which emphasizes the importance of interagency collaboration, intelligence-led policing, and lawful jurisdiction boundaries to enhance public safety while maintaining community trust. The Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996 created Section 287G, which authorizes U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to deputize selected state and local law enforcement officers to perform certain immigration enforcement functions under federal supervision. Without a 287G agreement, local law enforcement officers do not have the authority to detain or arrest individuals solely for suspected civil immigration violations. In my 28 years as a police officer, we have never entered into a 287G with any federal government agency. In addition, our officers are mandated not to ask an immigration status of a person, nor do we arrest strictly on immigration, nor do we do bias-based profiling. We have internal general orders that can ultimately lead to the termination of an officer if they do so. Entering into this agreement does not alter those legal limitations. Instead, it provides a structured and accountable framework for collaboration focused specifically on terrorism and threats to our public safety. For our island community, preparedness is essential. While we are geographically isolated, we are not immune to the risks facing the rest of the nation. Our economy, large public gatherings, and critical infrastructure all require vigilant protection. Participating in the Joint Terrorism Task Force strengthens our readiness while reinforcing our commitment to prevention rather than reaction. Equally important is maintaining the trust of the community we serve. Effective policing depends on strong relationships, transparency, and adherence to constitutional policing practices. Participation in the federal task forces is mostly successful when it supports public safety while respecting civil rights and clearly defining jurisdictional roles. Authorizing this agreement demonstrates a commitment to proactive policing safety, interagency cooperation, and responsible governance. It ensures that our department remains aligned with the nation's best practices while continuing to focus on the unique needs of our country, not county. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify, for your continued support of initiatives that enhance the safety of our community. Chair, I just want to point out something else too. I know Chief Pelletier mentioned this, but in light of transparency too, we're fine. If the community is not comfortable, we're okay with deferring the bill so that we can add the language to enhance and enforce that we will not do any of that immigration discrimination enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Ms. Milner, do you want to say anything? Budget Director.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, council members. Yes, just briefly, as you all know, Section 2.20.020 of the Maui County Code requires that any agreements that have a financial obligation, the mayor needs council approval before entering into. And I just want to reiterate that the Corporation Council, the Budget Office, and the Department of Finance, even though there's no specific dollar amount mentioned in this agreement, do feel that it creates a financial obligation. So if it is filed today, it will not be signed until council approval is received, if it is received. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Corp Counsel, do you have any opening comments? Do you have anything to add?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right, so members, at this time then, I'm going to ask for testimony. Looks like we have testifiers signed up, right? So members, okay, hang on. Let me just get the. So testifiers wanting to provide testimony should sign up with staff and join the online meeting via Teams link or call in to the phone number noted on today's agenda. Written testimony is encouraged and can be submitted via the e-comment link at mauicounty.us/agendas as well. Under the Sunshine Law, the chair will receive oral testimony for agenda items at the beginning of the meeting and as the item is called up. For individuals wishing to testify via Teams, please raise your hand by clicking on the Raise Your Hand button. If calling in, please follow the prompts via phone *5 to raise and lower your hand or *6 to unmute and mute. Staff will add names on the testifiers list in the order testifiers sign up or raise their hands. For those on Teams, staff will lower your hand. Once your name is added, staff will then call the name of you're logged in under the 4 digits of your phone number when it is your time to testify. At this time, staff will also enable your microphones and videos. Please ensure your name appears in Microsoft Teams as a name you prefer to be referred to or as anonymous if you wish to testify anonymously. If you're in person, please notify staff that you would like to testify anonymously. Otherwise, please state your name for the record at the beginning of your testimony. Oral testimony is limited to 3 minutes, and if you're not done, you will be given another 30 seconds to complete. Once you've done testifying, or if you do not wish to testify, you can also view the meeting on Akaku 53, Facebook Live, or mauicounty.us/agendas. We will do our best to take each person up in an orderly fashion, and will now call on testifiers wishing to testify at the beginning of the meeting. Staff, please call up the first testifier.
Chair, the first person signed up to testify is Stephen Beidner, to be followed by Denise LaCosta.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, council members. My name is Stephen Beidner. I live in Kula. I haven't testified before the council or its committees in quite some time, but this important issue, Bill 92, brought me down the hill today. I will be brief. I'm not sure why this issue is even an issue. Why would anyone in local government, local law enforcement, or any Maui resident want to have anything to do with the current U.S. Department of Justice or FBI under Pam Bondi and Kash Patel? Politicized organizations with total disregard for civil rights, civil liberties, or the rule of law. They seem to think that it's just fine to drag people out of their homes and cars without warrants, gun people down in the streets, incarcerate people in so-called detention camps, or actually concentration camps, racially profile, spread wild conspiracy theories, and selectively enforce the law. These are no longer legitimate agencies, in my opinion. We are a racially and ethnically diverse community in Maui County. Who amongst us wants anyone here to live in fear, be targeted by masked thugs, or have us become the next Minneapolis? Does anyone want to live in a totalitarian, authoritarian society, a show me your papers, please society? I urge this committee, the entire council, Maui Police Department, and Maui County in general to have no agreement and no cooperation with this regime. Local law enforcement should be able to handle local problems on their own. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for one moment, any questions for the testifier, members? See none. Thank you for coming down the mountain, as you described. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Denise LaCosta, to be followed by Ann Pitcatley.
Aloha
Costa.
kakiaka.
Good morning.
Mahalo. P. Denise LaCosta, and I'm testifying on my behalf and of the citizens of Maui. Maui is still healing. People are still rebuilding their lives and their sense of safety and their trust in institutions. Any decisions to introduce fear, confusion, or mistrust right now just takes us backward. This proposal may be well-intentioned, but intent is not enough. If policies cause neighbors to be afraid of neighbors, to be anxious, to be targeted, to be dragged out of their home in their underwear, then it is not strengthening our community, it is continuing to divide it. Unfortunately, events around the country have caused people to worry about the federal government's overreach. This is not time for such anxiety and division. What we need to do is we need to have our authorities, our police departments, the sheriff department be prepared together in case there is any kind of issue. There also should be time for them to call in the National Guard at the governor's behest. So I just don't think that it is anything that we need to introduce right now to our communities. Unity does not happen by accident. It requires action over inaction to solve problems. It requires leaders to slow down, listen carefully, and please choose people over processes. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you very much for being
Mahalo,
here.
and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Ann Pitcatley, to be followed by Dr. Kahala Johnson on Teams.
Ann Pitcatley.
Ann Pitcatley, or Ann Pitcatley?
Oh, here she comes. Who's the next testifier after?
She'll be followed by Dr. Kahala Johnson on Teams.
Thank you.
Aloha, committee chair and committee members. My name is Ann Pitcatley, and testifying, I'm urging you to all vote no on Bill 92 and to terminate any current existing MOU with the JTTF task force, with the JTTF. We are witnessing a radical change in our political climate, evidenced by an unprecedented crackdown of our human and civil rights and civil liberties, along with the continued demonization and lawless violence against immigrants and including U.S. citizens, as we have seen in Minneapolis, and the horrifying treatment of children and adults held in concentration camps. Shortly after the council voted for 92 with only one dissenter, Trump issued an executive order. He issued the NSPM, National Security Presidential Memo, which considers anybody that is a political dissenter as a domestic terrorist. And then 2 days after that, Trump issued an executive order to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization. There's no such thing as Antifa, by the way. It's not an organization at all. So these actions make, like I said, political dissent an act of terrorism, stifling free speech, even when it comes to no threat to national security. This is laying the groundwork for a police state, which is characteristic of all authoritarian regimes. Pam Bondi, Attorney General of the Department of Justice, who oversees the FBI, has a record of deeply hostility to LGBTQ plus rights, civil liberties. She supports racial profiling, was Trump's election denier and promoter of Project 25. She recently called on Minnesota Governor Walz, offering to end the chaos and violence by ICE in Minneapolis if he would just turn over the voter rolls and data of Medicaid and SNAP recipients. That's totally illegal. because states control that and private. And it's also an act of extortion. FBI Kash Patel holds the top authority over the agency's operation, including JTTF. He's proudly called himself a member of Donald Trump's army and has been highly paid as a consultant for Trump's Truth social media platform owned by Trump. And I'm sure you saw the depiction of the image posted on Truth Social with Obama's as looking as like apes. He's used the investigative and surveillance powers of the FBI to target journalists, civil servants, political opponents, or other individuals based on their ideology, speech, journalism, or political or religious activity, including race, ethnicity, and national origin. These radical extremists are not playing by the rules. They don't care about the rules, and they want to change the rules and do not defy the Constitution. How can we as Maui County residents have any trust, faith, or confidence in federal law enforcement? MPD is completely subordinate to them. Our police chief stated the FBI JTTF contract would not involve immigration enforcement, but they have no authority.
30 seconds.
And is at the whim and mercy of whatever role the JTTF assigns to them. I urge you to look at documents released by ACLU and also the Brennan Center for Justice about how bad these JTTF involvement conflicts with local laws. They're practicing conflicts with local laws, and also inappropriate targeting of peaceful political activity that have nothing to do with terrorism.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much. Any questions, members? No questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Next testifier.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Dr. Kahala Johnson on Teams, to be followed by Shay Chan Hodges on Teams.
Very good.
Hi, aloha, everybody can hear me.
Dr. Johnson, we can hear you.
Awesome. My name is Dr. Kahala Johnson. I'm testifying in strong opposition to Bill 92 and encourage the county to vote no, as well as to cancel any MOUs existing now. Bill 92 is a Trojan horse for American fascism, one that will amplify the types of deadly violence we are witnessing on the continent right now, including the killings of nurse practitioner Alex Preddy and legal observer Vinay Good. As a descendant of Kupuna who were stolen by government agents during the Kalaupapa leprosy abductions in the late 1800s, I'm opposed to any collaborations between MPD and FBI, which are designed to amplify oppression against Kanaka and immigrants. And as a political scientist, I want to verify that the bill's reference to national security...
Could you speak closer into the mic?
I want to verify that the bill's reference to national security in the ostensible interest of counterterrorism is in fact a dog whistle used to advance authoritarian policing and surveillance programs designed to protect the terror of American empire. To be clear, the United States is a terrorist state.
One moment, please, Dr. Johnson. Can we make it louder? Yeah. Could you speak closer into the mic? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Testing?
Okay, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. To be clear, the United States is a terror state. It is a settler state. The U.S. exists because of genocide against indigenous nations and the enslavement of African peoples. Calls to defend national security are nothing more than calls to protect this ongoing legacy of terrorism against Black and indigenous peoples of color across the global South. That is to say, we have seen this pattern before. In the Pacific, American imperialism has long relied on the language of national security to justify its terrorism. The nuclear destruction of Bikini Atoll, the military occupation of the Philippines, the bombing of Kaho'olawe, and the violent overthrow and ongoing occupation of the Hawaiian Kingdom. During World War II, the U.S. government used national security and counter-subversion rhetoric to justify the mass incarceration of Japanese communities. Over 120,000 people, the majority U.S. citizens, were stripped of home, family, and livelihoods based solely on race. Entire communities were treated as inherently suspect and subjected to collective punishment in the internment camps. Under the banner of national security, federal programs like COINTELPRO hunted and murdered U.S. citizens, including members of the American Indian Movement, Black Panther Party, Young Lords, the Women's Liberation Movement, the Gay Liberation Front, and the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, while simultaneously destabilizing countries across the global South. After 9/11, the same national security was redeployed against Muslim, Arab, South Asian, and Sikh communities. Surveillance, informants, raids, watch lists, and prosecutions expanded dramatically. Currently, violence against these communities intensifies as our support for the end of the Israeli occupation of Palestine continues. And today, under the ongoing terrorism of ICE, immigrants have once again become the primary targets of the American police state. National security rhetoric is being used to justify raids, detention centers, family separation, and collaboration between local police and federal agencies. Undocumented people, asylum seekers, refugees, and mixed status families are framed as threats. And those who defend immigrants, provide mutual aid, resist deportation, are being surveilled, criminalized, and killed. In closing, inviting the FBI and Joint Terrorism Task Force in Somalia embeds our county deeper into this violent history and present. Furthermore, given the FBI's absolute failure to stop the terror of Epstein and bring justice to survivors, we must denounce the agency as a shield of the very systems that allow for that type of harm and violence. Bill 92 does not make us safer. If we truly seek to counter fear and terror, we must invest in our community's mutual aid and community defense here. I urge this council to reject Bill 92 and choose a path grounded not in terror, but in justice.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier, Member Hodgins?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Johnson. I'm sorry. Could you please submit that in writing? In the beginning, we had a difficult time hearing you, and I know people in the audience wanted to hear what you had to say. Sorry for the interruption. We were trying to make sure that people could hear. But it looks like you had it written down, but I would appreciate it in writing. Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries, we'll do.
Thank you very
Model.
much. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Seeing none. Next testifier is Shay Chan Hodges. I see her online. Good morning.
Good morning, aloha. Yes, my name is Shay Chan Hodges, and I'm a resident of Haiku. I am respectfully asking the County Council to end Maui's participation in federal policing frameworks that put our civil rights and community safety at risk. I appreciate that Budget Chair Sugimura has pledged to vote no on the new FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force contract, Bill 92. However, that pledge is not meaningful if the old JTTF contract remains in place and continues to govern Maui Police Department's cooperation with federal agencies. The council must end the existing JTTF contract now, withdraw from the agreement that allows federal agents to be embedded inside the Maui Police Station, and withdraw from the contract with the National Guard that enables federal deployment of military forces into our civilian spaces. The core problem with the JTTF framework is that it permits people in our community to be treated as domestic terrorists based on their race, religion, or national origin. That is fundamentally incompatible with our constitutional protections, our local values, and the spirit of aloha. On Maui, where a large share of our residents are not white and many are not Christian, this kind of framework is not just abstractly dangerous. It creates a real and direct risk that we will all be targeted simply for who we are. Hawaii has a painful firsthand experience with what happens when federal security partnerships are allowed to operate on the basis of prejudice and fear. During World War II, Japanese American community leaders from Maui were taken from their homes and sent to internment camps, not because of any proven crime, but because of their ancestry and perceived allegiance. That history is a warning. When we give broad domestic counterterrorism powers to agencies without strong local oversight and clear civil rights protections, it is communities like ours who pay the highest price. We all know about the murders in Minnesota, the abduction of children, including babies and toddlers, separation of families, and the deplorable conditions that men, women, and children are enduring in detention centers right now, as we speak, all of which demonstrate how easily labels can be weaponized to justify intrusive surveillance, militarized enforcement, and the erosion of due process. The killing of Renee Good by a JTTF team leader stands as a grim reminder of the deadly consequences when such justifications go unchecked. Furthermore, when people know they can be watched, questioned, and physically harmed because of how they look, where their families come from, or how they worship, they begin to feel that the system is not really meant to protect them, and they are less likely to report crimes and cooperate with law enforcement. They're also more at risk for exploitation. Ending Maui's participation in the JTTF and related agreements is a concrete step you can take today to uphold our constitutional rights, prevent discrimination, and honor our history instead of repeating its worst mistakes. As the federal government continues to escalate its attacks on people of color and those with the courage to stand up for them, our elected officials need to make it very clear whether they have the courage and aloha to protect the rights and safety of all of Maui's residents. The time to stand up and be counted is now. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, please may I ask for your respect for the council meetings? Thank you. Anybody have questions? See none. Okay. Thank you very much. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Celine Laguerre in the chamber, to be followed by Reverend Dennis Banger.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My name is Celine Laguerre, and I'm here as a private citizen, but I also teach sociology. I know some of the signs of a society starting to slide from democracy to authoritarianism, and I know how critical it is to stand up to authoritarianism early on, even when it feels safer in the moment to go along to get along. I also know how important checks and balances are, and even budget and procurement policies. When powerful people like the police chief make unilateral decisions, other people pay the price. So I want to share my concerns on Bill 92 and urge you to vote against it. During normal times, this bill would read like a standard agreement on administrative details for a shared mission of catching the bad guys. These are not normal times. Given the current federal administration's consolidation of power and reinterpretation of laws, it's alarming that the County of Maui would sign on to this. The President's recent National Security Memo, NSPM 7, says joint terrorism task forces will be involved in domestic terrorism investigations. And now those include political speech, motivations, and beliefs, not just violent behaviors. Labor union strikes, donations to protest groups, civil disobedience, Hawaiian sovereignty, civil rights and social justice movements, and even non-Christian religions could fall under that umbrella. Under the broad definitions in the NSPM 7, we are all potentially bad guys. And it's critical to see Bill 97 in this context. This agreement could turn our police force against citizens who are merely exercising constitutionally protected free speech rights. And I appreciate you providing this opportunity for us to speak today. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you very much. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Reverend Dennis Banger, to be followed by Lori Tanner.
Aloha kakahiaka, council members and committee chair. My name is Dennis Barger, and I am a retired clergyman and have been so in Kihei, Maui for 13 years or more. I just want to present a brief context for consideration today and to urge your no vote. Bill 92 was put before the council and approved some months ago, and yet it was also subsequently referred to this committee, the Budget and Finance Committee, because of certain questions about inaccuracies and falsehoods that we would like to address either at this time or another time, but they must be corrected for the record. I remind the committee that the legal duties of the council concerning intergovernmental agreements are described in State Law 46-7 under the section that reads in part, agreements with federal government in use of funds. Quote, the governing body or the planning commission or the department of the various counties with the consent of the council may enter into agreements with the federal government. But it also says that we must furnish, expend, and receive any funds or other assistance in connection with those projects or to be undertaken in the future. The council can give its consent to the IGA when certain conditions are met after thorough public fact-finding efforts. The fact-finding that the council needs to complete is partly defined in the County Code, Chapter 2.20, entitled Intergovernmental Agreements. unless authorized by ordinance, this is a quote, unless authorized by ordinance, the mayor shall not enter into any intergovernmental agreement or any amendment thereto which places a financial obligation upon the county or any department or agency thereof. Section B defines obligation as any commitment, promise, or similar representation contained in an intergovernmental agreement, that the county or agency thereof will provide funds, documents, statistical data, or any other, quote, professional or technical service, etc. Since the council has not completed the public and thorough fact-finding effort on the FBI, JTTF, IGA on whether it contains any financial obligation on Maui County, a no vote should be taken clearly to declare that the IGA places no financial obligation on the county. That is to say, there should not be a vote declaring that the financial obligation will not impact the county. So until the Maui County Council publicly examines the IGA for any financial obligation placed on the county and votes on that finding, it has not met its legal statutory responsibility to give that consent.
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for the testifier? Ooh. Sorry. All right, sorry. Thank you very much. Next testifier.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Lori Tanner, to be followed by Patricia Pierce.
Aloha. Thank you all for hearing my testimony as a former Hawaii State employee, licensed Hawaii educator, voter, member of Indivisible. I speak to the financial obligation of this county code requirement found in the IGA, the FBI JTTF contract acknowledged in the previous Budget Committee record. Page 2 of IGA between the Maui Police Department and the FBI JTTF, quote, supervision and control. All JTTF personnel, once on board, will be under the supervision of the FBI while working on the JTTF to which they are assigned. Page 8 says, quote, salary, overtime, compensation, funding, the participating agency shall be responsible for the pay, overtime, leave relating to its employees detailed to an FBI JTTF. Page 3 says, quote, staffing and commitment responsibilities. In light of the significant cost and effort in onboarding new JTTF personnel, as well as the need for continuity to successfully combat national security, criminal, and cyber threats, attacks, and intrusions, the participating agency agrees to provide its personnel to the FBI JTTF for a period of at least 2 years. This is not an expectation of the JTT staffer. This is a contractual obligation of the county agency. Page 5 says, quote, the participating agency will not knowingly act unilaterally on any matter affecting the JTTF. The Budget Committee's September report to Council on Bill 92 says, quote, the proposed agreement would commit the county to provide personnel whose salaries, benefits, agency-required training remain county costs. No IGA sections establish any Maui Police Department supervision or operational control in the JTTF chain of command. Thus, the argument that MPD retains full supervision of JTTF officers deputized from the Maui Police Department is not supported anywhere in the IGA agreement. The county pays for officers while the FBI JTTF commands. On pages 2 through 8, many more IGA sections prohibit the Maui Police Department from chain of command and operational control, among other restrictions on MPD activity. The MPD is paying our county tax dollars to JTTF staff, but the county doesn't have full control, is locked into that financial obligation for 2 years. The contract establishes a one-sided relationship between the master, FBI, JTTF, and the servant, MPD. It is not collaborative in decision-making. When we are going back to the county code, the county is financially obligated to pay for professional and technical services, MPD officers in the JTTF, over which the FBI JTTS is in full control by contract. Thank you for your careful deliberation.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Thank you very much. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Patricia Pierce, to be followed by David Yoshida.
Ms. Pierce?
I'm Patricia Pierce, I live in Makawao, and I stand with Indivisible. The Council Budget Committee needs to correct its record with a proper fact-finding hearing on the legally binding IGA itself. Past practices or Maui PD promises regarding supervision and pay are irrelevant to a vote on Bill 92. In fact, the council has yet to begin to fact-find into dangerous parts of this proposed contract. For example, the County Budget Committee should do proper fact-finding on how many MPD officers are in the current JTTF, their tenure, and what are the average annual hours spent in the last 5 years. The MPD has yet to reveal those Joint Task Officers' terms of service and current numbers as instructed by the council 2 weeks ago. Deputy Maeda named 4 MPD officers in his 8/5/25 memo to this committee. Another MPD representative stated only 1 part-timer on the council record last week. Chief Pelletier evaded this question completely in his 2/4/26 memo to the DRIP committee chair. Answering these very simple questions have to stop being a moving target. Will this committee do fact-finding on the task force contract's overbearing dominance on Maui County's independence and free voice? Especially on pages 4 to 7, this proposed FBI task force IGA binds a muzzle to the Maui Police Department, council, and county independence. It's not just dissenters' rights at stake, it's our county government also. Trump's FBI gets to define terrorism in this contract. How has Trump's FBI definition changed lately in light of Trump's SPM 7 memorandum, with charges now lodged against deceased victims, Renee Good and Alex Preddy? Why does this matter? Because this proposed contract gives the FBI JTTF a free hand to define any investigation as about terrorism. This then triggers FBI non-disclosure agreements. What do these non-disclosure agreements look like and require? It also triggers the FBI JTTF banning the Maui Police Department and the county from holding press conferences, issuing press releases, releasing task force-related body camera footage, and any information deemed by the task force as under investigation by them. Will this committee do fact-finding on how this contract signs away Maui County's right to access evidence, investigate, and adjudicate crime and liability? When the FBI has a free hand to name any alleged act as terrorism, it also then triggers a page 5 clause in the contract that prevents the county and the MPD performing its own police and prosecutorial work. This matters because we are watching in real time FBI's behavior and practice in Minneapolis and across our nation, preventing local police from investigating killings, kidnappings, and brutality by federal agents of white citizens with no criminal record in residential neighborhoods and in broad daylight. If Trump's police state is doing this to them, imagine what it is doing to people of color, immigrants, people who are criminally charged but not convicted, who also have these same rights.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is David Yoshida, to be followed by Derry Wood.
Good morning. My name is David Yoshida. I'm a retired Maui Fire Department captain on behalf of Maui Indivisible. Here's another correction the Budget Committee needs to make prior to its prior report on the proposed IGA with the FBI JTTF. Will the Budget Committee investigate whether there is a current executed FBI JTTF contract that Bill 92 intends to replace? 4 days ago, the Budget Committee made public with absolutely no fanfare that the FBI and MPD searched their records and could find only a 19-year-old contract that might be a current contract between the FBI and JTTF and the county's MPD. Hidden on the Budget committee website for this agenda, this contract is labeled Correspondence from Committee Chair 2426. This might be the contract that the Budget Chair and BFED has recommended to replace with Bill 92. The committee should, in fact find to resolve this question whether the council is being asked to replace this contract with Bill 92. It should also find whether the council ever approved and the mayor ever signed this 19-year-old contract. Is it properly executed, and has MPD been acting as if it is in effect today? Did the county ever terminate this 19-year-old contract? Might there be other later contracts that the FBI and MPD just can't find now? And if so, who believes this, and what is the evidence that these later contracts exist? There are too many follow-up questions to list now. On behalf of myself, thank you, Deputy Chief Maeda, for pointing out all of the good points with the arrangement. Sharing of knowledge and tech is good. We get that. This in and of itself is not a bad thing. I've worked hand in hand with MPD officers for years, my whole career, and I respect and trust them. I don't trust our president, DOJ, and FBI. Under them, anyone can be classified and deemed a domestic terrorist. I think we can all agree that for years, this has been a non-issue because we all had trust in the way the DOJ and FBI and even ICE operated. That is not the case now. Immediately upon the murders of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, the Trump administration deemed them domestic terrorists, and their investigations were seized by the FBI. No one here can now claim that we don't see where this is going. There's no gray area. It's scary to think that around our country, local police are our last firewall between improper actions of federal agents and our communities, our people. How the FBI would utilize our officers, we don't know, but we know enough. Firefighters and police both follow orders from their chain of command. We all know that. The last thing we need is our local police being under federal control. I spent 28 years, almost half my life, in public safety as a firefighter. Your jobs, everybody here, is no different. I look at all of you as my brothers and sisters in public safety because you, through policy making, have the same responsibility and trusted duty to protect our communities, our neighbors, and our people. So to quote Maya Angelou, when we know better, we do better. Thank you for your time.
Well done. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you for your 28 years of service. Next testifier.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Derry Wood, to be followed by Jake Carton.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and council members, everybody else, and thank you for being here today. My name is Devi Jacqueline Wood. I live in Haiku. I'm a Maui Indivisible person, and I'm also a former journalist. We are asking the Budget Committee to propose or to look at some other corrections to make to its prior report on the proposed IGA with the FBI GTTF. Please fix the falsehoods in the Budget Committee record, especially the important ones. For example, the BFED report to Council on Bill 92, authored by Budget Chair Sugimura, says that the MPD, and I quote, emphasized that the department would retain supervisory responsibility over assigned county JTTF personnel and the discretion to decline participation in any JTTF action. However, this contract really clearly demonstrates that it is patently untrue, it's false. And upon this false finding, as we know, the BFED recommended passing this bill, Bill 92, the IDA, this last fall. This should be fixed in a new BFED report to the full council. The committee was also yet to examine what is not in the proposed FBI GTTF contract. One of those things is a minimum percentage of full-time equivalent, or FTE, of an officer position assigned to the JTTF. A second thing is limits on the number of MPD officers assigned to the JTTF, as well as limits on the JTTF using mandatory on-call status on MPD staff in the JTTF. The agreement on page 3 says, and I quote, during periods of heightened threats and emergencies, the JTTF may need to operate 24 hours a day for an extended period of time. During these periods, all these JTTF personnel are expected to support JTTF activities unless released to the participating agency. And so this means that the JTTF can define and declare a threat and then can take exclusive control over even part-time MPD officers to force them to work 24/7. Now, why does this all matter? The county is taking great risk, in our view, that a hypothetical new, unelected, and authoritarian Trumpian police chief would permit the FBI to deputize the entire MPD staff. When the JTTF declares a heightened threat at their discretion, it can then mandate the entire MPD to be under its command. Do we want the risk of one person standing between Trump and his takeover of what is, after all, an $83 million county department? This budget committee needs to fact-find more on reasonable limits and require contracts to be negotiated with clear safeguards to Trump's takeover of the MPD and our civil liberties. Let's be on the right side of history here today. These are indeed terrifying times. We've all witnessed it in the news. We are all sitting at home watching our news in terror. I'm a mother of 2 young adults. They're both women, and they are terrified. They tell me this daily. So we can all make a difference today, and this FTTJ MOU is where it starts here. We can really make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Oh, Member Paulton, one moment. Could you come back? Ms. Ward? Ms. Wood. Wood. Member Paulton.
I can't hear you.
Oh, she
Thank
has a
you,
spoke
Chair.
there.
Thank you, Ms. Wood. I just wanted to clarify, you're seeking to look into it more rather than to vote against it?
No, we definitely want you to vote against it, and we want you to vote against it after doing all this research so that you really fully understand what is currently in place, what is on the table to be going forward with it, and of course looking at all the differences we've seen since Minneapolis. So no, it's definitely still a no vote. However, be aware of all the leakage that is happening in this existing contract already.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Paulson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Jake Carton, to be followed by Robert Pollock.
Mr. Carton?
Aloha, council members, again, thank you for letting me double dip as a public testifier. The council has a choice today. File it or vote no. Budget Chair is advocating to file this bill, and this bill being the Trump police state contract that we're talking about. That is very different from a no vote. What has the police chief done when the council files proposed contracts with the Trump administration? The police chief signs them and then implements them. He did that with the Homeland Security contract, and now they are embedded inside the police station. The council needs to evict them. He did that with the National Guard, which Trump commands. The council needs to terminate that contract. And even today, we hear the MPD is still advocating for the JTTF contract. Filing Bill 92 in real life is supporting this collaboration with Trump's police state. It is leaving the door open, wide open, to Trump's fascism. Voting no is exactly what it means. No procedural maneuver like a filing will deceive Maui residents. We all know what filing this contract means. Please vote no and move on to even more important work like terminating the police signed contracts in effect with Trump's JTTF, Trump's Homeland Security, which supervises ICE, Trump's National Guard, and other contracts yet to be known when the council mandates the MPD to fully disclose all contracts with the federal government. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Carton? See none. Next testifier.
Chair.
Oh, sorry. One moment. Member Cook.
Thank you. For clarification question, you said that Trump, the president, the federal government controls the National Guard. I thought our governor controlled the National Guard, and Trump has distorted that.
Correct. Trump has distorted it and gotten away with it through federal courts. There have been lawsuits that states have failed to win. And I mean, we can look at Los Angeles, we can look at lots of places.
Thank you. Answer my question. I'm just, yeah, thanks. So
Yes.
if we follow the law the way it's supposed to be and not the way he's interpreting it, the governor controls our National Guard. And hopefully we can get it back like that. Thank you.
Yes, hopefully.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? See none. Next testifier.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Robert Pollock, to be followed by Lori J.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to testify. I'm in complete alignment with Indivisible and their remarkable and thorough investigation of this issue. Voting no on 92 is essential. It's a step. But we have to realize that myself, Robert Pollock, I'm a son of immigrants, Holocaust survivors from Hungary who came over apparently 3 weeks before I was born here in the United States. And that makes me particularly patriotic as well. So I empathize entirely with the Maui Police Department. They have a tremendous burden now, morally, as to how to proceed. It's not that we're approaching authoritarianism or, preventing it from happening. No, we're in it, ladies and gentlemen. We are in it. It's 1984. And we need to assess what we can do, first of all, to destroy or remove ICE as it's currently formulated, replace it eventually with a reasonable set of rules. And we have to refer, in my case, and certainly for the rest of us, hopefully, to the art. We've been told this. Sinclair Lewis, it can't happen here. That's over 100 years ago. It outlines exactly what's happening today. Jack London, The Iron Heel, the same. Those works of art remain despite all of the changes. And we must invoke the best of our heritage in order to combat what is currently in place. So I again urge a no vote and commend Indivisible for their remarkable, thorough work. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question for the testifiers? See none. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Lori J., to be followed by Alice Riddle.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I don't have any notes because I always speak from the heart. And those of you that know me know that. I'm 71 years old. I live in Wailuku. And I worked at Tent City. I advocate and do homeless outreach as a volunteer for many, many organizations that represent the vulnerable, people that have homes, but from the fires, they have to, people that don't have homes. I totally respect the police department. You handle everything really, really well. I've been in the sweeps. What I see now and what I hear now from all these people, because what I do is I listen. I ask people questions. I ask them how they're feeling. I ask them what's going on with them. And most of them are terrified. Doesn't matter what the color is. I live in Wailuku, and my neighbors are scared to go out, and they give me a list. Yes, we're in Maui and we don't see them, but most of my friends are not my color. And that doesn't matter anymore because 2 people are dead that that were just doing what they felt was right as humans, as humanity. And love is more powerful than hate. And we gotta all pull together. Maui Indivisible is every indivisible all over the country, millions of people. March 28th, there's gonna probably be 9 or 10 million. What does that say about the country and how we feel about the people that we brought? My ancestors come from Hungary, from Bulgaria, from Romania, my grandparents. And I'm a proud generational immigrant, I guess. I'm Jewish. What is that gonna mean? I don't know. You know, my houseless friends that live around the corner, what is that gonna mean to them? The Maui Police Department, this is Maui. I mean, it's different because we're out here and we have each other. Look what happened after the fire. I got chicken skin. Okay, but 120,000 Japanese were locked up on the mainland here. Now what's gonna happen? We don't know, but history repeats itself. And I urge you to vote no, please, 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 please vote no, please, please. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Alice Riddle, to be followed by Gail Swanson.
Good morning. My name is Alice Riddle. I'm a resident up in Kula. And certainly I'm a voter here on Maui. I had a lot of notes. I'm not going to read them all because the people who have come before me have said it so well. In response to Chief Pelletier and Officer Maeda's reading, I really think that it seems to me that collaboration is possible without relinquishing local control, for sure. I respectfully urge the council to carefully consider, fact-find, the long-term implications of entering into a contract that shifts authority over our local police to the federal government, as proposed in Bill 92. Keep Maui law enforcement local to those of us who are, after all, paying for it. Vote against Bill 92 and consider a proactive ordinance to protect local control over our local forces, such as model legislation proposed by Indivisible that has been thoroughly researched and advocated for the last 5 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Gail Swanson, to be followed by Kelly King.
Aloha, my name is Gail Swanson. I've lived here 42 years. I live in Haiku. And I really appreciate what everybody has said so far. I also want to take some common ground here. We all do want the best for everybody here. You guys, everybody, MPD, I get that. But I think it's all getting down to like specifics in these contracts. I guess my main question is how many contracts exist that put us in danger of ICE coming in here and mistreating us? How many exist? I would love that answer. And I think the public needs more information on all of this. I don't trust this administration at all. Trump is a psychopath, and we are being run by an authoritarian government completely. But, you know, I would just ask you to picture Minneapolis, how it looked on that road in front of Ka'ahumanu Avenue. If we're out there speaking out and exercising our First Amendment rights, I'm singing a protest song. I don't want to get shot in the head. And I think it can happen here. I would also point out Trump loves to go after the people he doesn't like. He hates Obama. Obama was born in Hawaii. It would be very easy for them to come in here and occupy our island. This is a very easy, they could make this a big example and go, let's just go in and take over this island. They don't know what they're doing, right? They could come in, we have all colors of skin here. They could come in and just do whatever they want. And like somebody else mentioned, there's no rules anymore. They don't care about the Constitution. The Constitution is a piece of toilet paper on the bottom of Trump's shoe. Like, they don't care. So even though MPD is looking out for us, they will push them aside and do whatever they want. So that's my concern. I would say definitely vote no on 92, and I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that that's going to happen today. I think you're all going to vote no. But again, I want to know what other contracts exist. I appreciate MPD said they're willing to withdraw the current contract, amend it, do whatever needs to be happening. If ICE comes in here, it needs to have mask laws, badges, you know, common sense rules. And honest to God, I just don't want to get shot for standing up for what I believe in. I was born an activist. My mom was an activist. I was born a Democrat. Like, I'm fighting this with all I got. So what else can I say here? I took little notes. JTTF agent shot Renee Good. That's JTTF. So if there's any confusion between ICE and JTTF, there's no difference. What else? God, I'm all nervous talking up here to you guys. Thanks. Okay, I guess that's it. Just citizens with whistles against thugs with guns and pepper spray. We don't want to see it here. Maui has way too much aloha for that. So thank you so much for doing everything you can to keep them out.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Next testifier.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Kelly King, to be followed by Lisa Sekai Darcy on Teams.
Aloha, council members. Wish I could say it's great to see you all in chambers, but the reason for the public presence here is extremely disturbing. First of all, I cannot state strongly enough my disappointment in this council for previously passing this measure 7-1 through this committee, through first reading, and if it had not been for Maui Indivisible, I think we would have had it through second reading. So I just want to say, you've heard this quote before, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And it felt like this council fell for Trump's tactics. Mahalo to Councilmember Rollins Fernandez for being the lone vote against this bill. Thank you for your voice. We appreciate it. And your excuse for not being in chambers because you did the right thing. And to Maui Indivisible for bringing the facts and waking up citizens to what was happening back then. We would all appreciate an apology from the 7 of you who voted in favor of turning our police department over to the current corrupt directors of the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and Department of Defense. Yes, it's still officially Department of Defense, not Department of War. The message to council to vote no on 92 would be a hollow victory since an existing contract continues, assuming someone has found the most current version by now. I know last I heard you were still looking for it. Budget Chair Sugimura should end and unwind the old Maui Police Department contract with Trump's FBI JTTF, the same force Trump is using to frame murder victims Renee Good and Alex Preddy as domestic terrorists. Someone on this council needs to lead the order for MPD to withdraw its officers from under this task force as soon as possible, write a contract termination request to the FBI immediately, and give the 60-day written notice to the FBI to withdraw from participating in all ways. The council should also sanction the police chief, and I'm nothing personal against John, for signing with Trump's Homeland Security to embed their agents against the Maui police, inside the Maui police station, among other collaborations, as the chief had no authority to sign on behalf of the county. The council also should immediately withdraw from the contract that the police chief signed with the National Guard. This contract enables Trump to deploy the Guard to invade civilian spaces while the MPD protects their base as a top priority over responding to Maui residents' 911 calls. To cancel, the council needs to give written notice to the National Guard that the county intends to terminate as soon as possible, and then publish what the exact 2026 date is. Please help fix all of the falsehoods about the FBI JTTF contract put on the council record by the MPD and Budget Committee by acknowledging the Maui individual stated corrections made during their presentation and the many of the testifiers who reiterated those corrections. I understand Budget Chair Sugimura has restricted Maui Indivisible's opening presentation today to 5 minutes, which they stated was enough time. So thank you for giving them the additional 3 minutes. I'm almost done. addressing the previous false testimony that became the part of the record when the Budget Committee heard this the first time. Do the right thing and get us out of this deadly contract as soon as possible. And I also want to read a brief statement, since she couldn't be here, if you can give me an extra 10 seconds, from Annie Nelson, who wanted to be here but couldn't be here. And her statement is, I don't want my tax dollars paying people who don't know me to murder me in the streets while exercising my First Amendment rights or defending the plethora of brown folks in my community because a bunch of bounty hunters don't know one language from another. So that's Annie Nelson's very brief testimony.
Thank you. Any question for the testifiers? See none. Thank you. Next testifier.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Lisa Sekai Darcy, to be followed by Cesar Caxiola.
Good afternoon, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I know.
Can you speak louder?
I often have trouble with my volume, so I'm gonna holler. Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity to testify. I strongly oppose Bill 92, and I'm here to amplify the previous testimony from Maui Indivisible. My name is Lisa, and I'm a Maui County resident writing to strongly oppose Bill 92. Recognizing many contracts already exist within this framework, the time is now to oppose Bill 92 and terminate the current contract, the old Maui Police Department contract with Trump's FBI JTTF task force. The same force being used to frame constitutionally protected Renee Good and Alex Peretti as domestic terrorists. As you may or may not know, I was arrested by Maui County Police with the support of both the mayor's office and the chief of police by merely attempting to provide transparency, which you know I have done in partnership for a decade, in the basic due process. All charges were dismissed with prejudice, and I have yet to receive any acknowledgement for the hardship this created for me and the many who worked tirelessly to prove my innocence. Sitting in that jail cell, knowing I was arrested with no evidence of my wrongdoing, was an exercise in wasted resources and emotional financial hardship no one should have to go through. These contracts are on steroids compared to the hardship that I encountered for upholding my constitutional rights. The ripple effect is both damaging to the spirit of this county and to the reputation of those elected and paid to protect us, and in fact are sometimes doing the opposite. I understand that mistakes are made. I understand that we learn new information and we can change our position, and I urge you today to change your position and correct history so that we can all move forward and allow due process and our constitutional rights to be the center of this focus. And I urge you to vote no. I will yield the rest of my testimony, which I will submit in writing, because everything that I wanted to say was said much better by many of the testifiers before me. I so appreciate your time, and I appreciate whatever it takes for you to go ahead and make a decision that will help us all fall on the right side of history. Much appreciation.
Thank you, Ms. Darcy. Any questions for Lisa? See none. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Cesar Caxiola, to be followed by Torben Jensen.
Good morning. Good morning, Committee Chair Sugimura, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Council members, committee members, good morning. My name is Cesar Caxiola, and today I'm going to testify on behalf of myself and also representing the Hawaii LULAC, League of United Latin American Citizens, which is across 32 states. So today, my testimony is as an immigrant myself. I came to Maui in 1990 with a contract for 6 months to work in the pineapple fields, and I worked there for 4 years. 29 years ago, I became a U.S. citizen. And then after that, I got many different jobs and stuff. In fact, one of my volunteer jobs, which I did for almost 10 years, was with the Maui Police Department, going there every single month and for a couple of hours, teach the officers and the staff Spanish, history, what it means to be Hispanic, what it means to be Latino, what it means to be from Mexico, what it means to be from Argentina, Costa Rica, Brazil, Venezuela, Panama, 21 countries. And so with that, I wanted to share that for the past 13 months, we afraid, we scared. We gotta carry with ourselves our passports. We gotta show proof that we are legally in this country. Because what is happening in the mainland is already happening in Maui. In the past 13 months, almost 40 people were taken away from Maui. Not everybody is illegal. That's a false statement. There are 11 or 18 or 20 or 200 million people illegal in this country. That is not true. That is a false statement. If they are illegals, maybe 3 million, maybe 4 million, but whoever says it's more than that, they don't have any proof. That is not true. We're here doing work that many people doesn't want to do. When I came to pick pineapples, the local community went to work for the hotels. They went to work for Kahumanu. They went to work for everybody else. They didn't want to pick pineapples. I don't blame them. If I was local myself and I grew up here and I had the opportunity to work for the hotel and somebody else, I would do it myself. That's why they brought Filipinos. That's why they brought Japanese. That's why they brought Portuguese. That's why they brought us to do that kind of work. So I will say no to Bill 92. Thank you.
Thank you, Cesar. Any questions for Mr. Gaxiola? I see none. Thank you very much. Oh, questions from the council, not from the audience. Go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Cesar. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Torben Jensen, to be followed by Dick Mayer.
Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
And I'm a little surprised. My name is Torben Jensen. I'm a citizen of the United States, and I live here in Maui. When I look over here and I see how few people there's in here, it tells me there's a lot of people that's not coming, even today, because they're afraid to show being against anything in front of the police department, potentially. Even people that want to come and demonstrate now that I talk to don't want to go. They're actually scared of going up there. So I want to tell you, we are already living in a police state, including here. And what I don't understand, council members, you all know history. You should know history. And you all know what's happening here. This is ridiculous that we are going through with this longevity, with this number 92. How come it takes so long? You all know where the end is. And how do we allow a police chief to be doing the correspondence with the FBI or CIA or whatever they are called out there? You have a problem by allowing the police chief to do this thing here. This is totally, totally wrong. So again, you gotta vote no. You cannot wait. It is happening. You can see it happening everywhere in this country. Everywhere. Please, do not wait. Vote no. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next person signed up to testify is Dick Mayer on Teams, to be followed by Lala Johnson.
Mr. Mayor?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Thank you.
I very much appreciated the letter that Councilmember Yukimura sent out on January 28th, and where she stated that several members of her family were interned during the Second World War. I too have had that experience where several members of my own family were interned during the Second World War. And I'm very much concerned about those actions happening again on a much broader scale within the United States. I urge you also, she also said in that letter that I'm supporting of disapproving Bill 92. I hope that in fact you do vote no on this bill, not defer it, not file it, but vote no on this bill as the chair of this committee has recommended. A question that should come up for all of us is, could and would Trump's team order a surge in Hawaii like they did in Minnesota? Many people may think that Hawaii is geographically isolated from the U.S. mainland, so we don't really have a problem. We don't need protection over here. Politically, Hawaii is the most Democratic Party state in the United States on the national level. And as we know, almost all of, or maybe even all of the surges that have been taking place in California, Oregon, Illinois, etc., Minnesota, all of Democratic states. And what we need to be concerned is that Hawaii is the most democratic of all the states in national elections. So we're no innocent person here. We should be very much aware of this. And ethnically, Hawaii is a state with the highest percentage of people of color. Again, another reason why people in Hawaii should be very concerned about this particular memorandum of agreement. Distance from Washington, D.C. is no protection at all. With regard to the agreement itself, there are some real significant problems here. There are many aspects of the agreement that would put Maui police officers in some kind of jeopardy. They would be under the FBI's control, and one of the things that is in that agreement is not in the agreement are any geographic limits. Once a Maui police officer is placed under the task force jurisdiction, under the FBI's control, they could be sent anywhere in the United States, just as we have seen in Minnesota that many of the people there in the surge are from out of state. They're not Minnesota residents. So could you imagine Maui police officers being sent to Mississippi or Tennessee or any other state in the United States to carry out FBI requirements? And they could be held there for 2 years if this agreement were to similarly, we could expect that other police officers who are members of this joint task force from other states could be sent into Maui, where they have no appreciation for the cultural differences and the culture of Hawaii. So for many reasons, this is a very dangerous agreement, and I strongly urge you to vote no on this and to rescind the other previously adopted memorandums agreement that the police chief sent. Please have those all canceled as soon as possible. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for Dick Mayer? See none. Thank you. Nice to see you, Mr. Mayor. Next testifier.
Chair, the last person signed up to testify on Bill 92 is Lala Johnson.
Aloha mai kākou, Chair and Council members. O Lala ko inoa, I testify today as a Kanaka Maoli. Under international law, including the United Nations Charter and the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, Kanaka Maoli have the right to self-determination. Many of us lawfully believe in Hawaii as an illegally occupied nation. That belief is protected political expression under the international law and the US Constitution. Yet, under the logic now being used by federal task forces, that belief alone could be used to label me as a domestic terrorist. This is not hypothetical. The FBI, JTF, is currently being used to frame community members, such as Renee Good and Alex Preddy and others, for their political beliefs in organizing. So Budget Chair Sugimura has pledged to vote no on the new FBI JTF contract. Bill 92 is not meaningful if the existing MPD contract with the FBI JTF remains in place. Civil rights are not protected by symbolism. The council has the authority and responsibility to act by commanding MPD to withdraw officers as their JTTF terms expire, by sending an immediate termination request to the FBI, by issuing the required 60-day written notice to withdraw Maui County from participation. The council must also terminate federal contracts signed without council authority, including the Homeland Security Agreement embedding federal agents inside MPD, which requires 30 days written notice, and the National Guard contract, which enables federal deployment into civilian spaces. The public deserves a clear, published 2026 termination date. Culturally, this is about pono and kuleana right, action and responsibility to our people. Legally, it is about council authority, transparency, and protection of political and indigenous rights. Maui has always stood for self-determination. We ask this council to do the same. Mahalo.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Next testifier.
Chair, there's currently no other individuals signed up to testify on Bill 92, so we'll do a last call. If there is anyone else who'd like to testify on Bill 92, please identify yourself now. On Teams, you can do that by raising your hand. We'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Chair, no one else has identified themselves as wishing to testify.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Last call, and seeing none, I'm going to be asking to close public testimony and receive written testimony. Thank you. All right, so I stated my desire to file this item, but before we act, I want some information on the record of accuracy for members who may take a different view. Before we begin with the members' questions, I wanted to ask the following. So it's come up, so I would like to find out from OCS, for the record, what are our voting procedures if the intent is to disapprove the bill, and in no way do I want to give the impression that we are circumventing anything. OCS? Mr. Hanano.
Thank you, Chair. So there's been discussions about filing the bill, and it seems like that was the chair's initial intent. So if the bill is filed, the police chief cannot unilaterally sign the intergovernmental agreement as Maui County Code 2.20.025 requires council approval for any governmental agreement that places a financial burden on the county. We have an opinion from Corporation Counsel dated January 20, 2026, that there is a financial obligation under the intergovernmental agreement in the Joint Terrorism Task Force agreement. The option to file the bill will essentially result in a committee report having to be generated, and then that will be forwarded to the council for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Hanano. And can the council direct the activities of the police department? And what is the authority of the council, the police commission, and the mayor in terms of oversight over the police department actions, and department's personnel?
You asking me, Chair?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, so under the charter, and this is section 3-8, restrictions on council and council members. Unless otherwise provided in this charter, neither the council nor any of its members shall in any manner dictate the appointment or removal of any officer or employee appointed by the mayor or by the mayor's subordinates. Section 2, neither the council nor its members shall give orders to any county employees or county officers other than those appointed pursuant to section 3-7, which basically covers Office of Council Services, or Article 5, which covers Office of County Clerk, either publicly or privately. Willful violation of these provisions may be sufficient grounds for the council member's removal from from office by impeachment. So essentially, the council cannot dictate to any department, basically anything that relates to operations or anything like that, under this section. And, to do so would result in possible impeachment.
Thank you.
Yeah, so basically for the police, they're covered under the charter by the police commission. So the police commission oversees, the Maui Police Department as far as, their duties and obligations under the charter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So basically, and you're saying that our actions would be to vote no on this agreement before us. That is the appropriate action.
Well, that would be up to the committee whether they want to vote to file it or, some other action.
Okay, so file is the appropriate action based upon our,
Well, that'll be up to the committee to
yes, okay.
decide.
Okay, and then, for an agreement of this type to be enacted by the county, Mr. Hanano, does the mayor's signature need to be fully executed on the document?
My understanding is yes, and, I would like to defer to Corporation Counsel for more guidance on that.
Ms. Wigglesworth?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the mayor does need to sign this agreement unless the police have been authorized by ordinance or resolution to sign.
Okay, thank you very much. Members, thank you for allowing me to ask these initial questions. Please let me know if you have any objections to proceeding under the guidance that the agreement attached to Bill 92 does create a financial obligation, and that was what we were told by Corporation Counsel. Members, we'll start with an initial round of 3 minutes each, and I'll start with Member U. Hodgins. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Did we find the new contract or the most recent contract? Or was it only the one from a few years back?
Yeah, it was 2007. James or Kirsten?
Chair, yes, police responded to DRIP Committee Chair Paulton's correspondence from the DRIP Committee meeting, and that response has been uploaded to Granicus for this committee meeting and this committee file. It's Granicus number 17.
And that one is the newest one, Mr. Kruger?
According to the correspondence, that's the most recent one that was been provided to us by the Department of Police.
Okay, thank you. Give me a minute while I pull that up. In the interim, would you mind, Assistant Chief, answering some of the questions that some of the testifiers asked? Do we know how many people, how many officers currently work on this task force?
Deputy Chief Maeda.
Yes, thank you for the question. Right, currently we have 4 participating members and 1 part-time task force officer.
Okay, how many hours do they dedicate to this task force?
They actually dedicate 0 right now. The only dedication is the chief goes to a quarterly meeting in Oahu to meet with the other joint task force members to discuss terrorism topics and such. So he attends a quarterly meeting. It costs the county approximately $1,300 a year total for airfare, per diem, and rental vehicle.
For the chief to go over there
Yes.
and participate in this meeting? Okay. I think that's all I have, Chair, for now, and I'm happy to support your recommendation if we file or vote no, however it makes the most sense.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
whatever we normally do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Member Cook, I'll just go straight down and back to you, Member Senenzi, at the end. Thank you. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. So, Deputy Chief, how much, the world's changed a lot. And all of the testimonies, like the news, everything, very deep, meaningful. I think we all get it, and the fear factor. What's your perspective as the Deputy Chief insofar as Maui County capacity to basically be able to be forewarned and do anything about some of these things that are happening in other places?
I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, the chief and I are against immigration enforcement. We've said this before, and we continue to say this. We have general orders in place that we do not profile people or do anything like that based on them. Our officers can get sanctioned or terminated. We also implemented a new general order that allows illegal immigrants, encourages them to report crimes, because we've found out that we've met with groups and groups have told us that immigrants are hesitant to report crimes. And so we made it that they will not be sanctioned by reporting the crime, and that will take action of the crime that they reported. So nothing will be done against that person, that particular person. You know, it's crazy times, and, you know, people say that the FBI can just order us to do immigration, and that's not the case. So first of all, we do not have a full-time task force member. So the FBI's jurisdiction does not supersede MPD's jurisdiction on our officers. So if the FBI tells our guy to do something quirky, we will tell our officer, you're not to do that. And if he disobeys us, we'll take away his police powers and we'll sit him at a desk. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. What's in the agreement is basically, it's an information sharing to prevent the citizens from attacks from terrorism. Nothing to do with enforcement at all. We've never done enforcement, immigration enforcement, and we won't. We said it before, we'll say it again, regardless of who the president is. That's our stance, that's MPD's stance. You know, if the president decides to send federal officers, we have no jurisdiction over that. I hope you guys understand that. We control what we can control. We'll protect you guys for what we can protect you guys. What the federal government does on their own volition, we have no control over that.
Thank you for that perspective. It's really challenging for our community because MPD, I mean, has a good reputation. I mean, not everybody, nobody's satisfied with everything. But thanks. Chair, can I make a comment?
Yes.
Just to the public, today's meeting, I mean, this whole thing is very deep and meaningful, and I think the enabling people to clap during the testimonies is unique. And I think that this sort of just a reflection of the council's acknowledgement of this issue. I'm hoping that in the future, today's concession doesn't get like used against us, like, well, you've let other people do it. Normally, clapping for one side or the other is not allowed because of decorum, so that we can have an unbiased, free flow of information. So I just wanted to convey that. There's a lot of aloha, there's a lot of acceptance and a lot of support for what's going on today. But, you know, please honor the decorum when we're asked not to do expressing in the future. Thank you for your allowing that.
Thank you, Member Cook. I totally agree and appreciate that. We'll keep ourselves back in order. Member Rollins Fernandez, followed by Member Johnson, Member Paulton, Chair Lee, then Member Senetsi.
Mahalo, Chair, and aloha, Deputy Chief Maeda. Mahalo for being with us and answering our questions. Before I ask my questions, I just want to start by stating for the record that no human is illegal. What is illegal was the US-backed overthrow of my kingdom and then the continued occupation of my country. That's what's illegal. Okay. So, in this committee's September 5th meeting, Deputy Chief Maeda, you informed us that you were advised to have the MOU updated annually. And so I'm trying to understand how that advice was not implemented if the most updated MOU we have is from 2007. Do you know why that is?
Thank you for the question. You know, we reached out to the FBI because they're the ones that asked for the MOU to be signed, that we asked them to research their records. And so far, the Maui Postal Duty could only produce the 2007 MOU. However, we have contacted the Honolulu office as well, and we're trying to get more recent copies of whatever MOUs they have so we can furnish it for the public as well.
Thank you.
Mahalo for that concise response. And if the timer went off, I didn't hear it. I still have more questions.
Yeah, you,
So the timer went off?
no. So proceed.
Oh, okay. Can I get my time back? Thanks. All right. And so, you know, I hear your response to my colleague's question about what has happened in yesteryears. And this year, this past year, and now it's just, it's not like what it was before. The U.S. is violating its own constitution, violating the Fourth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. Lower courts are, you know, like demanding that the administration follow the law and it refuses to. So one, what is the definition of terrorism for you folks? Because that has changed under this administration. Domestic terrorism is kind of vague and intentionally vague so that it can deter actions that may not be pleasing to this administration. As we heard by testifiers, it could include folks that just disagree with things that the administration is doing. It could be those that are not, are in opposition of fascism, of capitalism, of, anyway. So your definition of terrorism under this agreement, and what types or how much terrorism has the department uncovered since the beginning of this MOU in 2002?
Thank you for the question. So I understand where you're coming from. You know, the definition of domestic terrorism can be a little vague. However, I want to ensure that you and the public and the council members that we enforce the law only. We don't enforce political views, differences of political views. We don't enforce any civil things. And so that if a crime has been committed, that we will take action. But let me put this in reference. If someone defines domestic terrorism as such and such, and the Maui Police Department feels that the law has not been broken, we will not enforce that law. I hope that clarifies it.
Thank you. Time is up.
Mahalo, Deputy Chief Maeda.
Yeah.
I heard the timer. Thanks.
Thank you. Member Johnson, followed by Member Paulton, then Chair Lee.
Thank you, Chair. Boy, there was a lot of testimony, a lot of heartfelt testimony. I appreciate all the folks that came out and testified. One thing I will say, for me personally, that moved me a lot was when Caesar came up. And as we all know, Caesar, all the work he's done in their community, and for him to say that we are afraid, that makes me not feel good. A lot of us here on the council have very close immigrant ties. We have friends, family. We are all the stories that they're sharing. A lot of those stories are our stories. So I still am unclear on the status of the present JTTF agreement, and maybe Deputy Chief could speak on that. That's my question for you, Deputy Chief. The status of the current JTTF.
Thank you. Deputy Chief.
Thank you for the question. So our understanding is that the current MOU is still in place and is still active as it stands right now. And that's why we've come forward with the new MOU that will supersede that and effectively discontinue the old one.
I needed to hear that, and I hope the public hears that if we vote, whatever our decision is today will supersede the old one, right? That's what you just said. So if we vote to file this, we kill the bill. If we vote and we all vote no, it's done as well. Is that correct, Chief?
No, that's not correct. So the MOU is existing right now, and the vote is to kill the bill, Bill 92. So that bill, if you guys vote that bill down, then that bill will be deferred or killed. Sorry. But the existing MOU will still exist under the current contract.
So if we vote as a majority no, and maybe Corporation Council can get in this, what happens?
Corporation Counsel Wigglesworth.
I think you went over this, but now I'm
Thank you, Chair. Tom, would you like to?
Sure,
Gonna defer to my
I can
colleague.
address this.
I'm sorry.
So
Mr. Colby.
the current bill, if it doesn't take effect, it doesn't supersede the existing MOU, which, from what we can gather, goes back to the 2007 one that was provided by the FBI. It would be my reading of the law that there would be a different act or a different action to rescind a prior agreement.
That's, all right, that's my time, but it sounds like there's a step one and a step two, but I heard my time, Chair, and I won't need a second round, but I will say that my first vote was really the stochastic terrorism, the ever-changing way terrorism has been. I thought it would be a tool in an MPD's toolbox, but just they're off the rails. The feds are off the rails right now, and I don't want to support. I want to end this. That's what I'm going to say. So however we get to that, I'm here for it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Member Paulton, followed by Chair Lee, then Member Senensi.
Yeah, I'd like Mr. Hanano to clarify the difference between filing and voting no. It seems like filing would say that we don't need a committee report, and voting no would mean that we do need a committee report, but otherwise it's the same. Is that what you said in like layman's terms?
Mr. Hanano.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's the opposite, actually. If
I was in the corner, I didn't know there was a TV right there.
Whose mic is on?
Sorry, that's some other travelers.
Oh, okay.
My husband.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, so I think it's the opposite, Chair. If the committee votes to file the bill, then a committee report will be submitted or generated. I don't think voting to disapprove it is an option. It's either approve or file, is my understanding. If the, like I said, if the bill is filed, then the committee will have a chance to incorporate, its, whatever it discusses or determines from the meeting today in the committee report. Thank you.
So you're saying if we vote no, there's no committee report?
Chair.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let me get this straight now. If it's no to approve it, or is it no to not
So
file
we
it?
have Bill 92 before us, and it says, who votes for Bill 92? And everyone says no. Won't there be a committee report?
Well, that would be basically a motion to recommend approval, right? Is that what you're
A
asking?
motion to recommend disapproval.
Yeah, I don't think that's an option. I don't think you can vote
Why
to.
isn't that an option to vote no on Bill 92? You can vote yes
Well,
or no. That's a free choice,
Right,
right?
but I mean, it would be basically a no to approve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we vote no to approving it, is there a committee report?
I'm not sure. I think if I can get maybe James or Kirsten to comment on that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Sorry. James or Kirsten?
Chair?
Yes, Mr. Kruger.
So staff's understanding before the committee today, so it's Bill 92. So it's typical committee standard procedure. If the committee wanted to proceed with the bill, they would make a motion to recommend a passage on first reading of the bill. If the committee did not want to proceed with the bill and wanted it gone off the committee slate, the committee would make a motion to recommend filing the bill. So the committee's passing recommendations onto the council. So in this instance, you know, the committee's staff's understanding is that this approval isn't a typical option of the committee. If the committee wants to recommend to the council to not pass the bill, to, you know, kill the bill, then the committee's recommendation would be to file it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
What happens if we recommend approval and everyone votes no?
Oh, apologies. So Chair, in that instance, then the committee can either take a different motion or make a different recommendation or to deferral. So in the instance that Councilmember Paulton's talking about, that's say the committee makes a motion to recommend passage on first reading of the bill, and the vote fails, you know, 0 to 8. You know, nothing happens at that stage because only successful recommendations make it to the council. Failed recommendations don't do anything. So the committee can then choose to make a different recommendation, you know, recommend filing, and then if that succeeds, then that generates a committee report that goes to council. Thank you, Chair.
We would not be able to recommend disapproval of Bill 92.
Chair, so I guess basically committee staff's understanding is that that's not really a typical option that the council has done in the past. When the council is choosing to kill bills or not act on bills, they usually do a disapproval. I suppose I'll say that there's some instances where the council needs to affirmatively disapprove certain things, but that's because the code or the charter says that the council needs to affirmatively disapprove it. That's things like commission appointments that have a timer on it. The council needs to affirmatively disapprove those. But in this instance, because there's no indication that the council needs to affirmatively disapprove this, you know, filing it basically is disapproval because the IGA can't proceed without a council affirmative approval. That's committee staff's understanding. Thank you, Chair.
And filing will have a committee report, you're saying?
Yes.
Yes,
Sorry,
Chair.
did you say filing would have a committee report?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Chair Lee, followed by Member Senenzi.
I'd like to ask Corp Counsel the very same question.
Oh, Mr. Colby.
Why, I'd like to know why we can't vote no on this bill.
Chair Lee, I don't have a lot to add to the comments that have already been made. The bill before is for approval of the action and if you vote no, that you're not approving it, then from what I can understand from a procedural point of view, it acts as a filing and a committee report is generated that you didn't approve it. I am not a legislative expert, and so I have to defer to OCS and to your staff, but that's my understanding.
So we can, without a problem, vote no on Bill 9, regardless if it ends up to be like a filing. The effect is it doesn't pass.
Mr.
Right?
That's correct. It doesn't pass. You haven't recommended approval. You haven't voted to approve it. Pass it out to the council.
No, I feel that we should be able to vote no, because a filing is like no, in a sense, not taking action, and that might be interpreted as the council deferring to the administration. And that's not the intent here. Intent is to end it, to say no to Bill 9, period. And then people need to understand that the previous bill cannot be taken up with this one. We're only dealing with Bill you know, this bill, not the other one, 92, not the other one. We can take up the other one separately at a different time, under a different agenda. Okay, that's my question, and Chair, I'm hoping that, we can, I have an appointment at 11:45,
Okay,
so, yeah.
we
I
want
just
you to
wanna let
vote.
know.
Okay, thank you.
I'd love to vote too.
Yeah, Member Senensi?
Thank you, Chair. Just continuing on the questions. So it sounds like the chair's recommendation is to file, but many members want to vote no. So would we have to amend to vote no? Is there an extra step if we wanted to vote no
Okay, so
to
I'm
the
gonna,
process, Mr. Kruger?
I have spoken to OCS, Mr. Kruger. So what we're gonna do, my recommendation is to file, which is a no, right, is my recommendation. And in the committee report, which is something that we really want to happen, the clarity will be that when they write the committee report, it will say file with a clear no vote on this bill. So just, that's how we're gonna cover it, because our process is to, as Corp Counsel and everybody, Mr. Kruger has said, the process is, we're gonna file this, it's gonna mean a no vote, it's gonna generate a committee report, which is what we want to happen, and that's the action I'm gonna recommend. And it's a no vote.
A no vote, so we'll approve to file, is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna recommend a
Would be
filing of this.
Would be the same as a no vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna file Bill 92 CD1, 2025 is my next step.
All right.
So we gotta vote yes for it to mean no, is what you're saying.
No, no.
Because I
Because
agree
you gotta
with,
vote yes to file it, and then that one, no on
And
19.
and I agree with Chair Lee that we want, our vote wanted to be a resounding
Disapproval.
negative, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any more questions on this? Member Rollins Fernandez?
Mahalo. First, I just wanted to follow up on my round one question about the impact that this JTTF has had since 2002, and the types and number of terrorism that it's discovered and stopped.
Is that a question for police? Is that what you're asking, Member Rollins Fernandez?
Yes, unless you have the answer.
Thank you for the question. I don't have the exact number of times the information from the GTTF has assisted or resulted in the arrest of somebody. I can try to get that information for you. But the most recent one that I can recall is the one where, you guys remember where the unexploded ordnance was found by Kahului Elementary School, and we needed assistance in that one. There was other bombs set off. There was one bomb set off in Pukalani. And then we requested the assistance from the JTTF, who sent over bomb technicians to help us process the scenes, and which led to the arrest of local individual. But if you need statistics, I can try to get you statistics on how many times that the information has assisted or led to the arrest of somebody, if that's your question.
Yes, mahalo, Deputy Chief Mayera.
Thank
And
you.
then my second question is for Corp Counsel. So in the last DRIP committee meeting, when we were discussing the contract itself, at the bottom of the IGA that's, or the MOU that's attached to Bill 92, and then to the response that we received from the police department on the 2007 MOU, before the signatures on the last page of the MOU, it has amendments. And it says, this agreement may be amended only by mutual written consent of the parties. And in that committee meeting, we discussed whether our disapproval, because it requires mutual consent, would mean that Maui County is no longer participating in the JTTF. That the FBI would need to mutually consent. Did Corp Counsel, did we figure out if like we say no, that a no means no and it would be accepted? I know this administration does not like to accept no's as an answer, but.
So I'm trying to understand. The amendment section basically says that any of the provisions within the MOU itself can't be changed except by mutual agreement, meaning that both sides have to agree to it. The durational section, which is actually in here twice on the 2007 one, it seems to say the same thing, is one of those provisions. So we have the right to, with 60-day notice, provided the other party terminate the MOU, and then that would result in various things happening. I don't think that the section on amendments would allow the FBI to modify the durational section. And so therefore, we still have the ability to withdraw.
The MOU may be terminated at will by any party, provided written notice is provided to the other party of not less than 60 days upon termination, ... So just 60 days under the current 2007 MOU. So I guess my last question regarding Bill 92 itself, looking at the bill for an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement, and thinking about how my colleagues and myself would like to do more than just file it, that I'm considering, and I would like Corp Counsel to opine on this, is a bill for an ordinance rescinding the authorization of the mayor's agreement with in this MOU, in this IGA. And so that would be an amendment to the Bill 92, which would rescind the 2007.
Corp Counsel.
Thank you. That's a complicated question, obviously. It goes to the charter responsibilities and the ability of the mayor as the person who can enter into an intergovernmental agreement, as opposed to the general powers of the county council to approve certain things or to be the power of the purse when a financial obligation is in place. So I'm not really prepared to give you a definitive answer one way or the other, whether or not this council could file something, a resolution to rescind. I think that we probably have to figure out the balance since the power to enter into intergovernmental agreements and therefore probably to withdraw from them lies with the mayor. But if you want to send a request for additional research on this, we could look into it. Thank you.
Okay, but the continuation of public resources would still be invested in this JTTF. And we heard from the public that they would like their money to no longer be invested in this. And it's our taxpayers' money. And we are supposed to represent our residents. So it's their money, and they would like their resources to no longer be used in this way. And that's our authority as the legislative branch to say stop.
Okay. You want to respond?
Sure.
Chair.
Oh, Mr. Hanano. Or who wants to respond? Which attorney?
Yeah, I hear what Councilmember Rollins Fernandez is saying. The concern we have, I don't know if she's proposing to do that today, but the concern we have is notice requirements.
I was proposing to do that today.
Okay, so the current concerns that we would have with that is sunshine law issues, because that wasn't part of the agenda for this item. I think as Deputy Corporation Counsel Kobe has suggested that maybe in the future, something can be proposed to address council members' concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
And by something, Mr. Hanano, you're saying a resolution? I heard someone say a resolution. Is that what it would be?
I would have to look into that as well, but I think a resolution would probably be the vehicle to do it, because in the prior governmental agreement, there was no approval by council. So I'm not sure if council could unilaterally revoke it, or if a resolution would be the more appropriate means to recommend that the county withdraw from that agreement or terminate the agreement. Thank you, Chair.
Even if they're spending 1,300 annually?
Yeah, I mean, whatever the terms of the agreement that is currently being effectuated, I think, there needs to be a separate type of vehicle legislative act to either recommend or rescind the prior agreement.
Okay. Thank you. Members, I'm going to call a recess till 11:30 and take a little break because we haven't had one, and then continue this discussion. welcome back. It's 10:42, and I am going to continue this discussion. We had David Rotz, who is our Director of Office of Council Services, come to this body so that we can hear about our council process. I want to just state that I am of the same opinion of disapproving this Bill 92. So that is my position, to disapprove, and I think I hear it unanimously, but we're now stuck on words. So I want to ask Director Rotz to please tell us what the process is for council and what our actions may be.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, David Rotz, Director of Council Services. So a couple of quick background points. This committee, like the other standing committees of the council, exists to make recommendations to the council on legislation that has been referred. So the meeting agenda today in the status section for Bill 92 explains what the committee's options are. You can recommend passage of the bill in its original form or an amended form, or you can recommend filing of the bill. Filing under the rules of the council is the way that bills are disposed of or disapproved. And the committee report, in explaining the rationale, can express that this recommendation for filing is based on the committee's disapproval of the bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anybody have questions for Mr. Rotz? Okay, so Member Paulton, did you have a question? Your finger went up?
No, that was super clear in layman's terms, like that.
Okay, good. So to dispose of this bill from this committee, which is what I hear everybody wanting to do, Director Rotz is recommending that we take action by filing. Is that what you just said?
Thank you, Chair. That would be the way for the committee to recommend that the council dispose of and disapprove the bills. Recommend filing. Thank you.
Okay. Member Senensi.
Thank you, Chair. I was just curious, should this body do not get the support to file?
Oh, what are you asking? Sorry. You're asking what if the members do not want to file the bill?
Yeah, what would be our options with the bill?
Director Rotz.
Thank you, Chair. So you need 5 affirmative votes to make a recommendation to the council. If you don't have 5 votes to file or to pass or to take any of those options that are listed, then the bill would be regarded as deferred. It would remain with the committee. At the end of the term, it would be automatically filed under the rules of the council. But so deferral is the default action if you don't get 5 votes to either pass or file. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. All right. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. So what I hear, we vote to file the bill. There will be a committee report that will be forwarded to the council that this bill was not supported, and therefore it won't be voted on by the council. It will be heard in a committee report, but it will be, for all intents and purposes, POW from our filing it and transmitting it to the full council without support, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? All right. So Chair Lee.
In answer to Member Cook, this would go to the council and then the council will have to vote on it.
Yes.
This is a recommendation from this committee, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
But it sounds like, honestly, it sounds like we have no choice. If, for those of us who want to vote no, we have no choice but to recommend filing.
Yes. As an action of the council, of the BFED committee. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair Sugimura. So Chair Lee, it sounds like we have the opportunity to vote no twice.
Once here and once in council. Okay, so I'm gonna entertain a motion to recommend filing of Bill 92, CD1, 2025. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Motion made by Member Hodges, second by Member Cook. And any discussions? Member Rollins Fernandez. And then Chair Lee.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo. And mahalo to everyone for coming up to testify. So I will be supporting the motion to file. I understand that my colleagues would have liked to have had the opportunity to take a more affirmative action of saying no more than just filing. But I just drafted the resolution to rescind the, and I wrote it, rescinding the currently enacted intergovernmental agreement with the Federal Bureau of Investigation for a joint terrorism task force. So I already drafted it up and sent it to Director Rotz. And then do we know when the committee report will be on the full council? And then whenever the committee report will be on the full council, perhaps the resolution that I drafted can be on the same council agenda. And then, you know, everyone will have that opportunity to do more than just passively file what's before us and then let it, you know, auto file at the end of the term in December or January.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we know?
Thank you very much. Do we know when the?
Do we know the
this
answer to
will
my
be,
question?
I'm finding it out. When will the committee report be done and sent to full council?
Chair, so the current intent would be for the committee report to be prepared for the first council meeting in March.
March, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Mahalo.
Anybody else have any more discussion? Member Sinensi.
Thank you, Chair. As Member Cook had mentioned, that we'll be able to express our votes at the council meeting. And I can support the motion on the floor to file, and I'll be voting no in council. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? Member Paulton?
Thank you, Chair Sugimura, good job. So I just wanted to clarify, I'll be voting yes on filing here and at council, but what I really mean is no to the JTTF, but I'll be saying yes, but what I mean is no to the agreement. So it's all very wacky times we're living in. Yes means no, up is down, and so on and so forth, but I'll be voting yes, but I mean no.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Member Paulton, Chair Lee, and then Member Hodgins.
Yeah, same with me, you know, I was looking forward to voting no, and now I'm disappointed I have to vote yes, which actually means no. However, I do want to make a point about thanking the testifiers today. They provided substantive information to us and a strong foundation for the vote we are taking today, which means actually no, even though we're voting yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And Member Paulton?
Oh, I went already, I don't have anything more
Oh, did anybody
else.
else have anything to? Oh, I'm sorry, Member Hodgins.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for navigating this with us. I know this is not a common thing we typically do. I wanted to express my gratitude to the testifiers, especially Cesar. This council loves him so much. So I do appreciate him coming out and speaking up on behalf of his people. And I can appreciate how rough it is for not only him, even though he's an American citizen, how scared he is for his community. I would also like to express my appreciation to MPD. They are good people who do good things in this community. And if you cannot tell by the way they look, I'm sure they also am terrified of what's going on in this nation as well. We are all a group of minorities. And we do have each other's back. And whether or not this situation is very confusing for all of us. So I did want to express my appreciation to MPD. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you for your support for this community and having our backs as well. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments? Member Johnson, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, these are very odd times, to say the least. Never would in my life, but I imagine this is the state our country's in. And there's something that we can do on a local level. I'm here to support it. I echo the sentiment, what the folks all the testifiers had said in their testimonies, it's an important issue. Just letting everybody out there, there's a lot of fear in our communities because of what's going on the mainland. This council has supported Roots Reborn, which is going out there trying to help folks navigate this process, this immigration process. So we actually put our money where our mouth is. And if you're watching this and you're scared, reach out to Roots Reborn. They're out there helping. They are doing a lot of the outreach and grassroots kind of style work for this kind of thing. So if you are afraid, there are people out there trying to help you. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Yes. All right, members. Are we ready? All right. Okay, I'm going to recommend filing of Bill 92 CD1. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. I think there's 8 of us. Member Batangan is excused, so it passes. So 8 ayes. This is being filed, and all of you in the audience and in TV land, you heard that means no to this, right? This is our process. And thank you, Mr. Rotz, for coming to clarify this as a final say. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. When will the committee report be published?
At the next council meeting.
Okay, so the public will basically be able to see the texture and the meaning of this.
And the
Thank you.
discussion that came up. All right, so this is done. Member Rollins Fernandez.
So the next council meeting is on February 18th. The committee report will be on March 6th.
Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be in March. I think they said March. So thank you for the clarification.
I know, next week is kind of like an odd council meeting scheduling, so, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so it's March 6th. All right, this is filed, done, and we'll get the committee report. All of you will get to see it. Jake, thank you very much for being here. And this item is done. So if anybody needs to leave, police, anybody, we are done with this one item. It is filed. Thank you. So we have on our agenda 2 more items, which is Bill 116.
Point out.
Yes, Ms. Rollins Fernandez, I just saw you.
I mean, it's done in the committee. It's recommended to be filed. It's not filed yet. It'll be filed on March 6th.
Yes, it'll be recommended to file at the council meeting. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, all the testifiers and the people in the chambers. I'm going to change to the next item on the agenda. I know Chair Lee had to leave. Looks like she left. I may be losing quorum. So Bill 116, which is BFED 17, the second item on the agenda, which proposes amendments to Chapter 3.36 and Chapter 3.40 Maui County Code to support the timely implementation of affordable housing and residential workforce housing programs by exempting below-market leases from certain procedural requirements, including approval of the leases by the council. We first met on this item on June 17, 2025, and we deferred action given various drafting corrections that were needed. For today's meeting, I've posted an amendment summary form with a revised CD1 version that incorporates the needed revisions along with some other proposed changes to increase oversight through budget and annual financial reporting for all grants. Assisting us from our discussion today is it Director Remy Martin? Oh, he's online. Remy, okay. Director of Housing, Mr. Mitchell is online. And do we have CDBG also? Jolie, I didn't see her. Jolie, you want to come down? Yeah, thank you. Jolie, our CDBG manager. I'll be asking for opening comments from the Director of Housing first, as well as Jolie from CDBG for any opening comments, and then we'll do testimony and proceed. But it's almost 12 o'clock. Can members stay? Okay, we'll just finish this as fast as possible so we can do great. Thank you. You have a 12 o'clock meeting. Okay. Oh, sit down. Thank you. Do you have any opening comments regarding this? Is Director Mitchell here? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm on the line.
Oh, okay. Do you have any opening comments? And then we can defer to Jolie Jenkins. Sorry about
I
that.
do, thanks. And thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of Bill 116. As indicated in the transmittal, it was first transmitted to council for consideration in 2024, July 2024. And since then, the CBG office, which was previously the mayor's office, has been transferred to the Department of Housing. I've reviewed the ASF that was agendized and agree with the technical corrections as well as the additional reporting requirements. But I'm testifying to support the underlying policy of allowing the department to streamline the process to get these leases approved. It creates an incredible challenge for both the CDBG folks as well as the Department of Housing to have an additional layer of processing when for this program in particular, we are supporting our kapuna in housing that we are providing. And that's, the focus of this program. If there are any questions, I would gladly take those questions. And I know that Ms. Jenkins is there as a resource for the committee to support this item. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Director. Ms. Jenkins.
Good morning, BFED Chair and committee members. I'm Julie Jenkins, the Community Development Block Grant Program Manager, and I'm here in strong support of Bill 116. This bill proposes a practical solution to a critical barrier that is preventing programs such as Nahale Kapuna from reaching their full potential and effectiveness. Those barriers are sections of the Maui County Code, which currently requires CDBG to receive Maui County Council approval of direct leases between CDBG and the Nahale Kapuna tenants. As noted in the original transmittal of the bill, the requirement of council approval for these leases add to the already heavy workload of the council, delays leasing up to our kapuna, and also presents privacy issues due to the tenants of the NHK program needing to meet eligibility requirements related to income. Passing Bill 116 will help transform a good program into a great one, ensuring that our kapuna receive timely housing support and that county resources are used in the most effective way possible. I humbly urge your support of this measure and available for any questions.
Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, you want to say something? Corp Counsel.
I did review this with my colleague, Andrew Nelson, and we just wanted to make sure that there would be no confidential personal information provided in the reporting for the kapuna that are part of this program.
Point well taken. Thank you. All right. So those are the opening comments from the resources. Are there any public testimony? You do have. Okay, please proceed with public testimony.
Chair, there's currently one individual signed up to testify. That would be Cesar Gahiola.
Oh, his program. Hey, Cesar.
Aloha, here again. Committee Chair and council members, thank you for this opportunity to speak in front of you. And also, big mahalo from the bottom of my heart for your work this morning. I'm not gonna read the testimony. I did present a written testimony already to you. But in short, looking at the time, I just wanted to emphasize I do want to acknowledge myself and my staff, want to acknowledge the CDBG staff for all their work and for being very responsive and responsible whenever we have questions or anything like that. And we are in favor of this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for doing this management of these leases. You came forward when we needed you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you very much, Cesar. All right, any more testifiers?
Chair, there's currently no one else signed up to testify on this item, so we'll do a last call. If there is anyone else who'd like to testify on this item, please identify yourself now. On Teams, you can do that by raising your hand. We'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Chair, there's no one else to testify on this item.
Thank you. Member Johnson?
Chair, I'm sorry, I do have a 12 o'clock and they just arrived.
Okay.
So are we at bare quorum
Are we
now?
at, do we have quorum? I know Chair Lee left. We're at 6, and with him, you'll be, okay, we'll be at 5 bare quorum, so.
Okay.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
sorry, I had this meeting and I
Yeah.
had to go. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for spending the time talking about our first bill. Appreciate it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5, 6 of us. There's 6. Yeah. Okay, that's Member Paulton. All right, so at this time, then, I'm going to close public testimony, receive written testimony. I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible. You have an ASF that was submitted from me, and if you will look at it. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to recommend passage on first reading of Bill 116, 2024, incorporating any non-substantive revisions.
So moved.
Member Cooks, Chair, second by Member Hodgins. Okay, I'll now entertain the motion to amend Bill 116, 2024 by replacing it with CD1 versions attached to my posted ASF. Thank you. So the motion is, would somebody like to read it? Okay, I'll do it. The proposed CD1 version, Bill 116, requires real property tax granted for lease or rental to be reported in Appendix B1 of the annual budget ordinance. Requires county agencies with grants to provide an annual compliance summary under Chapter 3.36 and a financial summary that includes the total amount awarded for each grant recipient and for grants related to leases of real property, costs, revenue sources, total taxpayer subsidy, and a justification to continue the leases in the next fiscal year. C, incorporates technical and conforming revisions, including revisions to account for the passage of other legislation. I move to replace Bill 116 with the attached CD1 version, and the effect of this will with adds text as highlighted and deleted text shown in strike through. We did a bill showing it. Attached proposed bill revisions and a markup of proposed bill revisions. So that's what this CD1 version is about. And I guess one question is, you would be able to create this report, right?
Correct, Chair.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. No discussion? All in favor of the ASF? Member Cook? Oh, are you making the motion? Oh, you're voting? Okay. All in favor of the ASF, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. So do we have 5? County, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So who is absent is Chair Lee, and Member Johnson had to leave. Member Paulton's still there. Okay. Yay, ASF passes. Main motion as amended. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay, so this is great. This is excellent. So Department of Housing, we will move forward with the leases that we need to. And again, this bill is to try to make this process easier. I had a really good idea that came from staff that said one day we should make this Kupuna housing like other housing projects where the example would be for Cameron Center to be in charge of it, and they take care of all of it. So we're not piecemealing it the way that we're doing. And it's probably a great idea. And if we can work on legislation to make that happen and tighten it. So that would be the next steps for me if you could think about it. And thanks for the good idea, Michelle Yoshimura. All right, so I'm going to go to the last item on the agenda, which is grants, members. And we are not going to have time to take it up, but I am required to take public testimony on it. And after that, we'll adjourn this meeting. So do we have any testifiers? Thank you, Jolie.
No one signed up to testify on this item, Chair. So briefly, last call. If anyone would like to testify, please identify yourself now. Here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Chair, there's no one to testify.
All right. So I'd like to thank, we're going to close public testimony, receive written testimony on this last item, which is about grants. And I wanted to bring this up, members, so that we can get ready for fiscal year 27 budget. The intent was to talk about agriculture and DEM, those grants that are in those departments, because I think we've talked a lot about OED, the grants that are in OED, and we wanted to get ready for for these two departments. Thank you, Shane Agawa, for hanging on and being available as a resource for this item, but we are not going to have enough time to take it, and I will take it up in March at one of the BFED meetings so that we can talk about grants. I also want to thank Gabe Johnson. He left the meeting. He has a survey out to nonprofits, which I can ask his office maybe to send out that survey if you haven't seen it already, but it's for nonprofits to give feedback on processing grants and the challenges that they have been expressing to us as well as Member Johnson. So he put the effort together. Thank you, Kate, for doing this. And I will tell him separately because he already left the meeting. Appreciate this, and we'll hear it again. So members, this item will be deferred. And thank you very much for working hard today. And this meeting is now adjourned.